गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरु साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः. We are in Amrutanubhava, chapter 9, verse number 29, and we are seeing again last week we saw how pravritti and nivritti, withdrawal and involvement in the world or withdrawal from the world, does not affect the Jivan Mukta Purusha, and for him the participation has no meaning, nor does non participation. And in this way, he is ever established in himself, ever aware of himself, and that is how he functions. See, we saw one of the verses before where it said, in this world we cannot stop working. Body is as long as the body is there, you will act. Action will take place. But how do you act? With some agenda? No. Allow work to happen. Now that is something that you have to discover in yourself. And that will be discovered only when you discover yourself. So act with awareness, initial stages. Act with awareness, act with alertness. Alertness is the key. So here it says in the 29th verse, this expression of Jivan Mukta is further glorified. Dvaita dashetse angana advaita volage apana bheda tava tava druna abhedasi. In the manifestation and participation of duality, the non-dual self is manifested, and every additional duality strengthens the non-duality. For us, all duality all duality is a corruption of our mind, isn't it? We feel we have to go from from dual to non-dual, to the one. But here the teacher is saying, the great master is saying, that every expression of non-duality, what is non-duality? Phenomena. Where is this phenomena taking place? In the mind. Every phenomena, every expression of non-duality every expression of duality strengthens the non-duality. That's what he's saying. See? How does that happen? How is that happening? How non-duality is getting strengthened? It is all that there is, isn't it? Then how? What is he trying to tell you here? Think. All I can think is, the waves on the ocean is complete, but it is continuously creating waves. Out of it, the waves are getting created. Why are the waves getting created? Waves are duality. Ocean is water. Water is non-duality. Then how is the expression of waves increasing the abidance or the non-duality? Think in that manner. As bliss. As bliss. There is no purpose for waves to appear. Waves on a river appear because The river is trying to reach the ocean. There is a purpose for a river. But the ocean has got no purpose. Then why is it producing waves? Why is it producing waves? Out of its own inherent bliss. So, if the reality is one without a second, then why the the Ishvara and Prakriti came about? Why the Prakriti became the space, air, fire, water, earth, and the five senses, and the mind, intellect, memory, ego? Why this multiplicity came about from the Prakriti? If the reality is one without a second, then why this phenomena? Think, when I say the answer, say something, then you will say yes. It is the Leela. You understand Leela? You heard the word Leela? Leela cannot be worked out. It has got no purpose. It is just an expression of joy. Why does Lord, that infinite one without a second reality, manifest as the various gods, the various masters? Just to experience itself. It's its Leela. Just like, why does the ocean produce waves? For its own joy. No other purpose. Now let's see what Swamiji says. The conduct of Jivan Mukta Purusha is the expression of his vision of the totality in its completeness. He is very much living in the courtyard Angana of duality as if he is one of us, believing as we do that the duality is the reality. So, for the common man, a master continues to be like one of them. Nevertheless, the non dual existence has not suffered any loss. Whether he is fully participating or fully withdrawn, both are without any touch of duality, pratyanmukha. It is the Paramatma Tattva that is important, not whether it is manifest or unmanifest. In this participation, in his participation in the duality, the non-dual self alone is manifested. So, what is duality for the ocean? Waves. Multiplicity is the waves. Is the waves other than the ocean? No. Have we reached a point where we can say that everything that is taking place in the mind is me? The good, bad, and the ugly, and the fantastic and the ecstatic? We have to come to that point. In Vedanta, I told you one of the classes before, it's a two-pronged approach. First is withdrawal from the world because we think world is a problem, it's a challenge, it's difficult, it's bondage, it is impeding our bliss and joy and knowledge, our existence. So we withdraw from that because we keep complaining about people, about work, situations, about body, about everything. So we withdraw. This in Vedanta, this is called the neti. Na iti. Not this, not this. I am not the world, I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am not the breath, I am not the intellect. I am the conscious principle, I am the Atma. But it doesn't stop there. From there, the second process is called the Anvaya process. Anvaya means inclusivity. Inclusivity is everything. Not only this body I am, all the bodies are in me. Not only this breath, breathing mechanism, but I am the breath in all the bodies. Not only this mind, I am the total mind. I am expressing through every mind. Is that not true with regards to the dream? When you look at it, every body in the dream is you only. Every breathing mechanism, every body which is breathing is you. Every thought is you, every emotion is you, every conviction is you, every doubt is you. And when you wake up, how much value do you give to it? Zilch. Zero. That's exactly. We can appreciate it in retrospect because we have woken up from the dream. And we find it difficult because we are not woken up from the waking dream. Waking state, we have to wake up. Who is the Jivan Mukta Purusha? Who has woken up from all the three states. Then as much value we give to the dream state, that much value he gives to the all the three states. And the flip side also. Then if he is functioning in the world, just like we know, I can make this statement and I can accept it also, without any doubt, that all the bodies, all the breaths, all the minds, all the convictions, all the doubts, all the space, air, fire, water, earth, everything in the dream was nothing but me alone. Isn't it? Exactly the same way, this Jnaneshwar Maharaj, who has realized himself, is communicating to us. Yeah, this is the disposition of the realized master. So beautiful. But for those who live in duality, when they look at the Jivan Mukta, it seems as if he is living in duality. Furthermore, the Jivan Mukta displays neither another beautiful quality. The more the Jivan Mukta participates in the world of duality, the stronger his Abhed Nishtha. That means the hold on non-dual self becomes. So remember one thing, this realized person, he began as a seeker like you and me. He was not born realized. Well, everyone is born realized, but considering themselves to be bound. So he also started like we did, but he has reached that state. And how long are we going to keep running away from the world? If we are running away from the world and hide ourselves in the meditation, when you come out, the world is even more powerful. If with that attitude we have gone away, we run away to ashrams, we run away to Himalayas, we run away to caves, we run away into a quiet place. I want quiet, I don't want TV, I don't want this, I don't want that. How many things are you going to run away from? See, this master does not run away from anything. Initial stages, yes, when you are saying about neti neti, it is required that you withdraw from everything. But if people say, oh, there in the text it said you don't have to withdraw from everything, yeah, that's for you, I will withdraw. You practice this withdrawal because you want to be steady in your abidance. And for being steady in that abidance, if you feel that withdrawal is necessary from all the activity and the disturbances, it is important. But don't stop there. Don't make that into a desire that I must withdraw. No. We have to come to a point where, what did he say before? Pravritti and nivritti. Withdrawal and participation should not affect us. Sometimes we feel after meditation, oh, so beautiful it was, and it should linger on, linger on. And sometimes after meditation, I crack a joke or something, and you start laughing, and sometimes people are commented, Swamiji, don't disturb. What not disturb? See? Don't get into those mindsets. Be free. That is our nature. He makes no attempt either to withdraw from the duality as it exists or to change it. See, this is a very, very important point. Or to change it. So you are not now having a contrary position that this is not conducive, that is not right, I must not do this or I must not do that. No. Once the master has come to abide in his own essential nature, then prarabdhavash, as a will of totality, because of destiny, the body will continue. But as a will of totality, the thoughts will continue. What thoughts will come? He does not decide. He's like a mirror then. Whatever comes in front gets expressed, gets reflected. Whatever the nature, the totality is wanting to be done through him, that will get done. But he has got no agenda. So he makes no attempt either to withdraw from the duality as it exists or to change it. And there is no urge in him, because now I know myself, I am a realized master, I must improve the world. It will not. That itch is not there. And yet we see in the presence of such masters, great feats are done, great healing is done, isn't it? Why? If they are not, he must be doing it. No, he doesn't do it. Because his mind is like a mirror. You come with the right, if you come with anger, you will get a response in that manner. If you come with love, you will get a response with love, because he's a mirror. You come with faith, reverence, exactly the same thing is returned back to you. Unconditional acceptance of everything and everyone is the only way to be in tune with nature. What did we say in meditation? That let nature, in nature, everything flows naturally. And when we are in tune with that nature, this is what it is. That unconditional acceptance. I keep telling this statement again and again. A realized master accepts everything, rejects nothing, and thirdly, retains nothing, like the mirror. Why am I saying mirror, mirror, mirror? Because a beautiful text is there called Drigdrishya Vivek. No, not Drigdrishya Vivek. No, what is that? Dakshinamurti Stotram. Darpana Drishyamana Nagari Tujantargatam. So the whole exposition there, maybe one day we'll take it. The whole exposition is taking the mirror. First example is taken as the mirror. It begins that way. This is how a realized master lives. The non-dual vision is true liberation when Bheda Drishti, that means Bheda means differences, the vision of differences is given importance, one enters samsara. Samsara, samsarati iti samsara, which cannot be caught. Samsara is that which cannot be caught, because it's continuously changing. Spiritual practice means readiness and ability to change, to give up one's excessive and obstinate hold on concepts and convictions. By renunciation alone is immortality gained. Tyage naike amritatva manashuhu na karmana na prajaya dhanena tyage naike amritatva manashuhu. Immortality is not gained by active actions, not by progeny, not by wealth or siddhis. Wealth is outside wealth and inner wealth is the siddhis. But it is gained only by renunciation. Renunciation of what? Everything else other than you. Everything not self. All not self has to be renounced. And renounce Again, we repeat, renunciation does not mean running away. Renunciation means giving zero value and importance to everything other than the self. That's all. Every night you go to sleep, you renounce the world. Not because you are consciously saying, I'm not the world, I'm not the projects, I'm not the employer or employee, I'm not the father, I'm not the mother, I'm not the child, I'm not the brother or sister, I'm not the body, I'm not the mind. You're not saying all these things. All you are doing is you are focused on the sleep. The world renounces you. Isn't it? Exactly the same way. Renunciation is not uh, it should come about as a result of a subjective approach. Not whereas in yoga and etc., we are controlling the matter. We don't want to control the matter. That is also one way. There's nothing wrong in it. But the ultimate must not be forgotten. Ultimate is because Jnaneshwar Maharaj, he practiced Kundalini path. You see, he practiced Kundalini path. But still he is talking the same language of Vedanta. So he didn't stop there at the Kundalini. He went beyond. The highest tyaga is that of these convictions. Man is what his convictions are. You are convinced that you are a product of your parents. What proof do you have? Nobody has any proof. They showed you the paper and you accepted it. What's the proof? I'm just saying that in jest. So don't, what do you call, that I am, what? Various convictions that I am a vegetarian, that I am a teetotaler, that I meditate every day in the morning. One person I know is so convinced that the moment they go to sleep at night, whenever the first time the eyes open, they do not go back to sleep again. And if they are gone to sleep at 11 o'clock and you wake them up at, or they wake up at 12 o'clock, after that they will not sleep. That person will not sleep. Or 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock. And you see their personality, very, very funny personality. Because lack of sleep. Then whole day in the class. Why? Insistence that I am doing a sadhana. And what is the sadhana? That once I wake up, I do not go back to sleep. Another person I know, he eats only once a day. Now he's got used to it. But initial days, but you know, when he eats, he looks like a bakasur. So much. Crazy. And whole day, from morning till night, only lunch he will have. But so much. Then what are you doing the rest of the day? Only thinking about when the next meal is going to come. You see? One person I know, I keep giving you examples. Another person I came across in Badrinath, who did not speak for 17 years. Insistence. Maunam. Maunam is not of the speech. Maunam is of the mind. And 17 years he was in silence. And today you meet him. You can't stop. He takes revenge. That you guys, because of spiritual pursuit, I went into silence for 17 years. I have to catch up now. The lost time. Continuously. And after 17 years, If you have been in silence, there is a tej, there is a aura around you of a deep abidance, of a quiet mind. Nothing like that. He is the most frustrated fellow. Why only talk about them? We are also in the same category. So, so renunciation has to be in the right manner. So here teacher says, the highest tyaga is that of these convictions. Drop your convictions. Don't you watch the whole creation in your life. Whatever you were brought up as thinking, everything has changed. In the childhood, you thought without your toys, life is not worth living. Then, when you became youth, then you thought without a partner, life has got no meaning. Today, fill in the blanks. Once you take in the pharmaceutical industry, today they say this is the drug for this disease. After 10 years, no, we made a mistake. Aspirin, it has changed. It was so properly used. But today they say don't take aspirin. A new strain has come out. So everything is changing. Everything is changing. The nature of this world is change. So don't get caught up. Don't get fixated. Don't insist. The word is, the Sanskrit in the word is duragraha. Don't insist on anything. Don't even insist that you are this body. Don't insist you are these thoughts or these minds or this emotion. Everything is okay, man. Okay, let's move on. What's next? Just keep watching. What is next? There will be a next. There will be a change. You cannot hold on to anything in this creation. There's disease, it will change. There's headache, it will go away after some time. It will not be there permanently. See? But there is one permanent. And that's you, the one who knows, the one who's aware. The highest tyaga is that of these convictions. Tyaga, renunciation. The highest renunciation is that of these convictions. They are nothing but obstacles. They are the samsara one has been clinging to. Samsara, the world. These convictions are what is making your world. As the authority of correctness, and based on these convictions, based on that I have studied, I know what is right and wrong, I am holding on to the right. For the priest, doing the puja is the right. For a japa yogi, for doing the mantra, chanting the mantra morning, afternoon, evening, that is right. For a yogi, 3 times a day, yogasanas is the right thing to do. Don't come in between my time. That is my time with myself. What myself? It is with the body. You are doing asanas. But insistence. Hey, you are doing asanas and suddenly the house is on fire. No, I have to finish my asana, otherwise burn, die. No. Asana is going on, pranayam is going on, and bladder pressure comes. No, I must finish my pranayam. Then, but you do that, you are creating problem for yourself by holding the bladder pressure. Go and release it and do it comfortably there afterwards. But no. Hold. How many things will we hold? If you are hungry, eat. Those people who insist on fasting, Fasting is supposed to be done so that for it is healthy also, no doubt. Once a week if you do it, it's good for the system to get rest. But instead you eat all the fried stuff after that, and in the name of fasting, or in the name of fasting tell the whole world that I am fasting, I am fasting. In the evening prepare a good meal for me. Fasting is done so that you at least one thing, breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, the whole day you are thinking of food. For one day I'll stop thinking of food, and then what will you do? Think of the Lord inside, within your heart. But that we don't do. We are thinking only, oh, I have committed myself to this fast. Now everyone expects that I do a fast on Saturday or this day, and then I have to take revenge now. What is the revenge? In the evening, eat, oh eat. See? And this is how we are being a problem to ourselves. By insisting that I am like this or I am like that. Be like water. Mold yourself. With children, be child. With grown ups, be respectful. In any situation, oh, I only talk on spirituality, I don't know anything of politics. You should know. Go with the flow. If you are all knowing principle, you should know about politics also. You should know about the ugliness of the world as well as the beauty of the world. You can't say only beauty, beauty, beauty. If you are the light, see, so drop your obsessions, drop your convictions, and there you are. Alas, they are not so. They are only instruments by which one's Bheda Buddhi, the vision of the what do you call, Bheda is separateness. Bheda Buddhi is hardened, taking one away from the truth. Insistence, when we become insistent on what we have decided as true and not ready to look at the larger picture as scriptures are trying to invoke out of us, then we become hardened in our personality. In the abode of non-dual devotion, the difference between the devotee and the divine ends. The river has merged into the ocean, and the identity of the river is no longer there. It drops its identity and now is called as ocean. Individuality has to give up its identity. See? केवल्या ही चढावा करीत विषय सेवा झाला भृत्यू भज्य कालो वा भक्तीच्या घरी. The participation in duality by the Jivan Mukta is even more than non-dual existence. In the abode of non-dual devotion, difference between the devotee and the divine ends. Although the Jivan Mukta is much in the midst of the world, in its enjoyments and temptations, yet his kaivalyatva, his oneness, his non-dual vision, that does not get corrupted. That does not get corrupted. The non-dual existence is not touched. He is the Parama Yogi, the supreme yogi, because although in the midst of duality and dualism, the foundation of non-dual existence on which he is standing is never shaken. This is what I was telling you before. That we should not run away from the world. Instead, living in this world, discover yourself. Mature yourself. This world gives you the food, this world gives you the gave you the body to begin this journey. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here if you didn't have the body, isn't it? This world has given you the thoughts, this world has given you the joys, the world has given you the sorrows. So, why living in the world? Urvarukameva bandhanat mrityor mukshya mamradat. Become ripe. While living in this world, renounce and become ripe. Ripe in what? Ripe in yourself. By subjective approach, become ripe. And let the world will automatically leave you when you are ripe. Just like it leaves you when you go to sleep. When you are ripe with tiredness and the attention is only on sleep, the world drops you. You don't have to drop the world. The world drops you. Same way, living in this world, doing what is required to be done, not what you want to do. Doing what is required to be done. And how do you know what is required to be done? Any situation, some responses. Right now, here you are, and if you all say, no, what is required to be done? I will give a lecture. Huh? Or I'll go to sleep. No, you are in a satsang, you have to be alert. Listening, contemplating, taking it all subjectively. That is the disposition that is required from a seeker. Isn't it? See? So this is what is required to be done. Then when you are driving, what a beautiful thought. Oh, it was so sublime. Accident. Because you are not doing what was required to be done. What was required to be done? Driving. And what were you doing? Contemplating. I'm not making, I've gone through this. I had 3 accidents, one after the other, within 2-3 weeks. Why? I was committed to do the japa. And the japa used to make me, suddenly the eyes will get pulled inside. And I'm driving, eyes have got pulled in. Suddenly I will realize, oh, where is the car going? Bang! Then what is being told here? That day I realized. I had not read the book, but I realized that I have to be doing what is required to be done. Can't live in the Gaga land. In the name of spirituality, lot of things like this go on. So beware. Where are we? So the non-dual existence is that on which he is standing in, and it is never shaken. Come what may. The examples. See how convictions create problem. You know Bhishmacharya in Mahabharata, the grandsire, the grandfather of Arjuna. He was very truthful. Everyone looked up to him. He was very knowledgeable. He had sacrificed so much for his father. And for when his father gets married to that lady, Satyavati, he promises that I will never get married, so that your children will become the next kings. I am doing the right thing by my father. But what did those convictions, what did those decisions bring about? A war in the end. If you are so righteous, when Draupadi was being treated wrongly in the court, you don't have a mouth to speak. You are talking about righteousness. Where was your righteousness at that time? Why did you feel that you are subservient to the blind king and his sons? This is what happens. And then he had to take the side of the wrong, the bad side, the negative side, and fight from their side. This is all because of insistence that that I know the what is right and what is wrong, and their own idea of what is right, and they hold on to that. And that is why he had to die. That is why he had to die. Karna also, same, knew everything, but he had to die. Dronacharya, the teacher of the Pandavas and the Kauravas, he had to die. He was a Brahmin. But one conviction, I want to take revenge from my schoolmate called Drupada, because he abused me in the court when I went and asked him for half the kingdom. I went and asked for a cow, and he says he should have just asked for a cow and gone away. But he reminded the king, "Oh king, we studied together in the ashram, and there you promised me that I will give you half a kingdom, but I don't want half a kingdom, I just want one cow." This is not a way to ask. He says, "Half a kingdom, I will not give you a cow also, get out from here." See? And that he took as an affrontation to his dignity, and went and found a place where he could get power. And he went to Hastinapur, he trained these princes and became, and all these 100 plus 5, 105 of them were under his control. And he asks them, "Go defeat Drupad and bring him kneeling in front of me." The Kauravas are not able to do it. Pandavas go, they bring him, and then he says, "See, this is how you treated me." But he doesn't see his own mistake. That is not you are nothing, and you are asking a king and telling him all this. First introduce yourself, first talk about it. Yes, straight away, we study together and you promised me half a kingdom. So I forgive your half a kingdom, but I just want a cow. If he had just asked a cow, he would have got it and you would have gone. A sense of greatness in your own mind. Superiority. I am a Brahmin, he is a Kshatriya, he is a warrior. All these are convictions. Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, these are convictions. We have to go beyond that. Vedanta does not allow you to remain stuck in these four. You have to drop this. In the Sikh religion also, when you take Gurmukh, you take a commitment that I am a Sikh from now on, and I take the Guru mantra. From that day onwards, because in Punjabi also Brahma, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra are there. But once you become a Gurmukh, you have to forego all your past, because only the eldest son used to become the Sikh. And they have to give up all the caste. They have to give up all astrology. They have to give up all, they should not look into their past or future. They are, with that mantra, they are guided to live in the moment. Vedanta is also the same thing. You have to go beyond. Every day if I check what my horoscope is gone, I'm still considering I'm this individual, isn't it? If my daughter must marry in a Brahmin family, then the caste is what lineage I have been brought up in, that is important. It is concretizing the identity. And the reason they do all this is so that we get free of our This is subtle. We don't say it on the outside all the time, but deep inside, I am a Brahmin. I was born a Brahmin, or I was born a Christian, or I was born a Hindu. All this has to go. Vedanta has got no place for this. A realized master has got no place for this. He is everything. the f- With this type of knowledge in which he is firmly rooted, he enters a new dimension of devotion where the devotee and the divine become one, and thereafter the oneness expresses as two. The oneness expresses as two. How does it express? This is beautifully explained in the Ras Leela. Ras Leela, you heard, where the Radha and Krishna are dancing.
Oh, yes.
Ah. This comes in Bhagavad. On that full moon day, when all the gopis have been promised by Krishna that today I will deliver you. So they are all waiting, and Krishna comes and they go. Some lot of story happens in between, but eventually Radha and all other gopis, they come to the banks of the Yamuna, and Krishna Bhagwan comes. And when he comes, oh, they are so, because he has made them go through so much tapasya, and now is the day of consummation, and thousands and thousands of them and one Krishna. All the gopis, they start dancing, and Krishna is one in the middle. Meaning what? All the gopis are the thoughts, and Krishna is also thought, but it is the thought of the divine. So all thoughts are, instead of going out there in the world, I don't know, should I come or not, because my husband, what will he say, what will my children say, oh, I have not worn proper dress, because Krishna Bhagavan on that particular night, he plays the flute. Every gopi, in whatever state she was in, clothed, half clothed, dressed, hid the hair or not, sleeping, just they heard the flute and they came like bees to the flower. And they are dancing, because their focus is not their families, not the world, but Krishna. And they are dancing whole night. And that night went on for many, many, many days. For them it was one night. I think 11 days it happened. It went on. Rest of the world was quiet, stuck where it was. And they danced. They danced. As the love for the divine increased, slowly, slowly, they found in that intoxication of the divine that there is one Krishna between every two gopis. And this is true in our experience also. Between every two thoughts, consciousness is there. The intensity of the dance became even with more fervor. Oh my God! Imagine, before all thoughts were thinking of the divine, now you are seeing between every two thoughts. Naturally the thoughts have slowed down for us. But there the dance is going more with crescendo. But now there is Krishna between every two gopis. As it went on with more, eventually there was one Krishna and one gopi. That is also not the end. Now this is the point that I want to make. As it reached its climax, Gopi forgot she was a gopi, she became Krishna. And Krishna forgot he was Krishna, he became a gopi. And this continuous change kept going on. See? Wave forgot it was a wave, it became the ocean. Ocean forgot it was ocean, it became a wave. That is the consummation in that one. See? What will we run away from? Our thoughts. Everything is that divine. Everything is that pure consciousness alone. later when Jnaneshwar Maharaj, Swamiji says, where he enters a new dimension of devotion where the devotee and the divine become one, and thereafter the oneness expresses as two. Once Gopi forgets that she is a Gopi and sometimes takes a form of the Krishna, and Krishna forgets that he is Krishna and becomes the Gopi, then there is no two anymore. Then there is no two anymore. It's the one expressing as two without losing the oneness. The first stage, Swamiji says, the first stage is sadhana bhakti, where the thought is that I am doing the puja of the Lord who is supreme and I must surrender to him. When this bhava becomes firm, bhava means feeling, when this feeling, this is not just a feeling that I like, no, it's not a like. This feeling is with composed of faith, composed of reverence, composed of a commitment, dedication. That is this bhava. When this bhava becomes firm and he has reached the Jivan Mukta stage, there is no more difference between the servant and the served, between the devotee and the divine. This is called Parabhakti, which is glorified in Narad Bhakti Sutra. This Parabhakti, this is Parama Prema Rupa. That prema, where there is no difference between the devotee and the devoted, there is total identification. And according to Narad Bhakti Sutra, the highest love is exemplified only in the relationship of gopis and Krishna. If you want to be a devotee and you want to be consumed, start having qualities like the gopis. Start being focused and in love with Krishna like the gopis, or with the self, whichever way. That is the highest consummation. So Narad Muni, he himself, he has written these sutras on devotion, Narad Bhakti Sutra. He also says that gopis are greater. And gopis have got no knowledge in that our sense. We are collecting knowledge. Narad Muni also had collected lot of knowledge. And eventually his brothers taught him and he became the devotee of Narayana. See? But has he taken the form of Narayana? Has he taken the form of Narayana? Has Narayana become Narad Muni? Yes, Narayan Bhagwan knows he is the he alone is everything. But he has not reached. I'm just saying it here loudly. Who are we to judge? But when we read Bhagavatam, it is clearly written, gopis become Krishna, Krishna becomes gopi. Narad Muni also wanted to become Narayana, because one day he was going around on the path of the sky, and he looked and he saw one king's daughter was getting married, and he had blessed the child when she was young. So they must be praying. So he heard the prayer. He went down. He said he saw the beauty of the girl. He says, oh, and he went. He says, I have come to bless your daughter for the marriage. He said, okay. The king was very happy. Naradji has come to bless my child. He blesses her and falls in love with her. Naradji is a brahmachari. And this happened because when he was in Vaikuntha with Lord Narayana, he said, Narayana, something, that story goes, that I want to be like you. No, he asks the question, what is your maya, what is your potentiality? And as like other masters also, Narayan Bhagavan said, I will tell you when the time comes, let the situation arise. And he goes out of there, Maya catches him. He wants to get married to that girl. And to get married to that girl, she's going to get married to the most handsome fellow. Who is the most handsome fellow in this whole world? Narayana. So he comes to Narayana. Can I borrow your face for some time? I want to get married to that. Lord says, he says something and Lord blesses him. He goes, what? And he gets a face of a monkey. And he goes, the girl goes around in Swayamvar, looks around at it. Whenever she passes him, first Narad Muni has got all the powers. He comes and stands in front. The first one, she looks at him and she passes by. Why did she laugh at me? Quickly he goes again and joins the queue again. Again she passes him. And 4 or 5 times he comes. In the end, he says, why are you laughing at me? He says, look at your face. And he looks in the world, my God, like a monkey. And he becomes so angry, so angry. And she gets married to Narayana only after. But he gets so angry that he curses the Lord. But after cursing, he says, why did you do this? Then the story goes. Why? He says, because you only asked the question, what is the Maya? I gave you a live example, man. But this is how the Leela goes on. This is how the Leela goes on. There is nothing good and bad. It's just happening. Health is happening, ill health is happening, birth is happening, death is happening, day is happening, night is happening, everything is happening. Don't get involved in it, just watch. This Parabhakti is Parama Prema Rupa. This Parabhakti, this consummation in love is Parama Prem. This is the transcendental form of the transcendental love, where there is no difference between the devotee and the devoted. There is total identification. The river has merged into the ocean and lost its identity. Both are water. Both are water. The wave is also water, the ocean is also water. But the wave is identified with its form, beginning and end. It has to give up its waveness in order to realize the totality of experience called the ocean. Keeping the waveness intact, it can only appreciate what totality is. It can never be the totality. Even though it is always. Even though it is always. So drop identification with all beginning and end. What begins and ends? Body begins and ends. It begins from toes, ends at toe. Breath begins and ends. Thoughts have a beginning and an end. They are not continuous. No thought is continuous. You have a train of thoughts, but no thought is continuous, other than the nada. But that's a thoughtless thought. It is a natural sound. This can become one sadhana, to fall back into yourself. So, here, just with the last verse, we'll conclude today. This state of Jivan Mukta is further glorified. Ghara माझी माये चालिता मार्गुही तोची होय ना बैसे tari aaye pavaneci. So beautiful. He says, when one walks inside the house is the path. While one sits, he has reached home. See the example. While you are walking inside the house, the path is the house only. But when you have sat down, you have reached home. Same. Now look at the house is this total. Where is the journey going on? In the total. Once you sit down, you are the total. Journey involves activity. Once you have sat down, no activity. You have reached. So don't think that this mind is separate. That this world is separate. Everything is within the reality alone. Yes. When one walks within the house becomes the path. When he sits in the house to rest, he is already in the house. Thus, the house is both the road and the abode, depending on how he uses it. He has total freedom either to sit or to walk within the house. In the same way, for the Jivan Mukta Purusha, his devotion and his participation are both in the abode of his being, the non dual existence. From there, he has the freedom to come out and walk. That is, he has the freedom to participate or not to participate, or to abide. That freedom is there. Now, don't take that Jivan Mukta Purusha as an individual. The mind has the freedom to participate or not to participate. See? But there is no insistence. There is no insistence. We'll continue from here in our next class. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Just sit quietly for half a minute or so and see how the journey and the avoidance both is one and the same, in the same place.